Here's an interesting article about a volunteer fire department that has had to close. This one happened to be in Connecticut, and it's closing, according to the article, because they couldn't get enough volunteers. And many smaller districts, smaller municipalities, their fire departments are done on a volunteer basis. They may have a paid staff for a chief or administration, or a few positions are paid, or what they call career, but then they have a lot of volunteers. And this one closed because they couldn't get a lot of volunteers. And we found this to be troubling because there are many examples of districts that have very good success getting volunteers. I was on the board of a fire district in a town called Seal Rock, Oregon. You can look it up. They have a very successful volunteer staff. They have between 30 and 40 volunteers that are very happy to volunteer their time. Many people would love to be volunteer firefighters, and you have to give them really good pride in the agency. You have to have a very good corporate culture. You have to have a chief that's hands-on, that's good at the 911 side of it, that's not just administrative, that's just like a boss type person. You want to have a good representative of those volunteers, a good leader. If you have all that, people love community. They love camaraderie. They love something to do. It's not like a job you have to be there every day. You do not have to respond to every call. It's totally voluntary. That's why they call it volunteer. But if you have enough staff that are volunteers, you can cover all your calls, all your turnouts. The problem comes in is if you don't have a chief or an administrator that looks at it that way, it's just like you have to work for free. No one is going to want to volunteer, or they'll. Your video will be back in 8 seconds. In the meantime, remember, you have access to live one-on-one consultation, undivided attention of a licensed certified expert in this subject and many others. We want to listen to your story. We want to hear your questions and give you expert advisement of your options. We want to tell you what we know about your situation and what options you have. Now back to your video. They'll quit earlier. In fact, that district in Seal Rock, before the new chief, who's the current chief, had been installed, same district, same people, had a chief that they couldn't get volunteers, and they begged left and right to get volunteers. So it is doable. The biggest risk to these smaller agencies is not so much the volunteers, it's the budget, the financing. Many districts have to have the same expenses as a large district. It's called unfunded mandates. If you are running a small fire department or agency or district, you have to have the same type of insurance for, let's say, work comp. You have to have the same legal representation, the same type of liability insurance, the same accounting principles. And a small district with 3,000 people living there has to have the same basic administrative expenses as a large city with 1 million people. And that's what puts a lot of these districts out of business, because they don't have the funding for it. And it may seem like it's because of the volunteers, but it's really not. Part of the reason they have volunteers is because they don't have the funding for these other types of resources, so they can't pay firefighters. So if you live in a small district and you are a good manager, you are a good business person, consider volunteering, not only for the firefighting but also for their board, to help them work through these recruiting and retention programs, because you hate to see these fade away, where now this district in Connecticut has to wait for mutual aid from a larger district that may take them longer to get a response, and that can affect your insurance as well. The districts don't have to give up and surrender to not getting volunteers. There's plenty of ways to manage it, and this Seal Rock, Oregon small fire district is a great example. There's many others of how to get volunteers to be very happy about being part of their community's responses. Thank you for watching another video at actualhuman.com and describe.tv. Remember, if you have questions or comments about our videos, put them in the link below. Also, remember that you have availability and access to live one-on-one question and answer consultation with a licensed expert in a number of fields: investigations, insurance, surety bonds, civil court mediation, even things like real estate records research, real estate brokers, real estate mortgage lenders. In addition, you're going to find that experts are available in business segments, business development, marketing, advertising, certified licensed experts. So if you do find this content valuable and you want to delve more deeply into a subject, you can't ask YouTube a question, right? But if you want to talk to somebody live, an actual human, use the link below. Thanks for watching.